as a young kid, but I always doubted myself, like, for being a rapper.
Some artists make songs you play. Rod Wave makes songs you feel. Raised in St. Petersburg, Florida, he turned real pain, real pressure, and real-life struggles into music that connects with millions around the world. His success is loud, but the way he lives, that's quiet on purpose. Tucked away behind a long, oak-lined driveway, Rod Wave's 11-acre Florida farm doesn't flex wealth. It shows peace. Horses roam the land, a calm pool reflects the sky, and a thoughtfully designed farmhouse sits at the center, built for comfort, not attention. This isn't about showing off. This is where Rod Wave goes to breathe, reset, and escape the chaos. And today, we're taking you inside that private world. His land, his lifestyle, and the meaning behind it all. Before we dive in, make sure to hit like and subscribe, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Before we step inside the estate, you've got to understand the road that led to it, because none of this came easy. Rod Wave was born Rodarius Marcel Green and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida, where struggle wasn't something you heard about. It was something you lived. His father was in and out of prison. Money was always tight, and stability was never guaranteed. For Rod, music wasn't just a passion, it was an escape, a coping tool, and eventually the only future that felt real. In 2016, he took his first real shot with Hunger Games Volume 1. No major label, no flashy promotion, just pain, truth, and emotion poured straight into the mic. One release turned into another, and slowly people started paying attention. His sound, raw, emotional, and melodic, didn't fit neatly into one box. It blended rap and R&B in a way that felt honest and unforgettable. That authenticity is what set him apart. Word spread, the audience grew, and before long, that unmistakable voice caught the attention of Alamo Records, marking the moment when everything began to change. By June of 2019, everything started to shift. Rod dropped PTSD, a project that carried the now iconic single, Heart on Ice. What happened next couldn't be planned. YouTube reaction videos took off. TikTok clips flooded timelines with fans singing every word like it was their own story. The song spread fast, and for a simple reason. It was real. Themes of trauma, loyalty, and heartbreak weren't dressed up or sugar-coated. They hit listeners straight in the chest. That honesty paid off. Heart on Ice climbed all the way to number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100, officially putting Rod Wave on the map as one of hip-hop's most powerful emotional storytellers. Then came the next statement. Later that year, Rod released his debut studio album, Ghetto Gospel, executive produced by Kevin Gates. The project debuted at number 1, 10 on the Billboard 200, and stood out immediately. Gospel-inspired elements blended with his signature pain-filled melodies, creating something that felt soulful, cinematic, and raw all at once. At that point, it was undeniable. Rod wasn't chasing trends or quick hits. He was carving out his own lane, one rooted in faith, struggle, and deeply personal truth. By April 2020, Rod hit another gear. He dropped Pray for Love, and this time, the impact was impossible to ignore. The album debuted at number 1, 2 on the Billboard 200, and came packed with standout records, including the platinum-certified Rags to Riches. That song didn't just dominate playlists, it turned Rod Wave into a true household name. As his influence kept growing, the culture took notice. Rod earned a spot on the XXL 2020 freshman class, a major milestone that officially stamped him as one of the leading voices in modern melodic rap. Then came 2021, and everything changed. Rod released Soulfly, a project that marked a new chapter in his career. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, giving him his first chart-topping release and proving this wasn't a moment. It was a movement. With records like Tombstone, which climbed to #11 on the Hot 100, Rod reached a whole new creative peak. His storytelling grew sharper, his vocals hit harder, and his audience was larger and more loyal than ever before. That same year, he took home Best New Artist at the Billboard Music Awards, officially locking in his place in the mainstream. He didn't slow down in 2022, he accelerated. It started with Cold December, a deeply reflective drop that set the tone. Then came a freestyle over Future's Wait For You, where Rod quietly revealed the title of his next chapter, Beautiful Mind. When the album arrived in August 2022, it debuted at #1, marking his second straight chart-topping studio album. Rod spent much of that year on the road, touring with Tootsie and Mariah the Scientist, turning venues into emotional sing-alongs with performances that felt raw and personal. He closed out 2022 with the EP Jupiter's Diary, 7-Day Theory, led by Break My Heart, which landed at #1, 76 on the Hot 100. And then came 2023. Rod released Nostalgia, which once again debuted at #1, powered by fan-favorite hits like Call Your Friends and Come See Me. By this point, it wasn't just success, it was consistency. Rod Wave had fully cemented himself as one of the most emotionally resonant voices in modern music. His sixth studio album, Last Lap, dropped in 2024 and kept the momentum rolling. Backed by a massive tour, the era showed just how far Rod had come, even as the later legs of the run were complicated by behind-the-scenes industry issues. Despite that noise, one thing was clear. Rod Wave was no longer just a viral sensation. He had fully stepped into his role as a lasting cultural voice. By November 2025, that growth earned him a new level of recognition, his first Grammy nomination for Sinners in the category of Best Song Written for Visual Media. It was a major milestone and a sign that the industry was finally catching up to what fans had known for years. From poverty to platinum, from pain to global stages, Rod Wave built his career on raw emotion and real-life truth. And through every chart, award, and sold-out crowd, that honesty remains his greatest power, and the reason his story still resonates so deeply. After years of turning pain into platinum records, Rod Wave chose a different kind of victory. Peace. Not the kind found under stadium lights or flashing cameras, but the kind that lives far from the noise, out where the air feels slower and the world finally quiets down. That peace found a home on nearly 11 acres of untouched Florida farmland, a gated estate that speaks to both his success and his need for room to breathe. Set deep within one of Ocala's most sought-after areas, the property strikes a rare balance. Wide-open countryside paired with refined modern luxury. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't need to. Just like Rod, it's understated, powerful, and built with purpose. The home itself is a showcase of thoughtful craftsmanship. Featuring 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a private executive office complete with a temperature-controlled wine cellar, the interior feels like a luxury retreat, while still holding on to the warmth of a real family home. Soaring ceilings, reaching up to 3.6 meters in the main living spaces, open everything up, flooding the house with natural light through Colby-style windows and custom-designed blinds. Inside the home, nothing feels random. Every detail has a purpose. Seamless tile flooring stretches wall to wall, setting a clean, modern tone. At the center of it all sits the chef's kitchen, a true standout designed for both function and flex. Quartz countertops, custom cabinetry, An Alika range hood and a cafe gas stove with a built-in pot filler give it a professional edge. Add in a walk-in pantry and a dedicated laundry room, and the space feels as practical as it is polished. For someone who spends so much of life on the road, this kitchen becomes a grounding place, a spot to reset, cook in peace, or feed an entire crew without effort. The living room is built around a striking gas fireplace and comes fully wired with a Sonos surround sound system, including zoned speakers inside the home and out on the patio. It's a space made for late-night writing sessions, low-key gatherings, or quiet mornings soundtracked by music, while farmland stretches endlessly beyond the windows. The calm continues in Rod's master suite. A crystal chandelier crowns the spacious bedroom, flanked by two full-size wardrobes. The spa-inspired bathroom features a thermostatic shower and custom tile work, turning everyday routines into moments of relaxation. Behind the scenes, the home is just as impressive. It's powered by a 1,000-gallon underground propane tank, backed up by a whole-house generator, a 400-amp electrical system, and dual high-performance air conditioners wrapped in Icynene insulation. Every system is built for comfort, reliability, and peace of mind. Exactly what this chapter of Rod Wave's life is all about. Every detail of this estate screams luxury and independence. Step outside, and the property shifts from private retreat to full-on resort. A large screened porch, fitted with phantom electric blinds, keeps the space up to 10 degrees cooler or warmer as needed, and flows directly to a heated and cooled resort-style pool, a full outdoor kitchen, and a fire pit, perfect for gatherings or quiet nights under the stars. The grounds themselves are vast and meticulously maintained. Fenced and irrigated, they roll out in lush green waves, with meadows, pastures, and multiple water sources, making the estate ideal for horseback riding, private farming, or just enjoying nature in peace. Privacy is paramount, with 2 secure entry gates keeping the world at bay. Though reports indicate the farmhouse was eventually sold, the final price remains a mystery, adding to the property's allure. Rod's Florida lifestyle doesn't stop in Ocala. He also owns a sleek single-story villa in St. Petersburg, reportedly bought for around $1.1 million. In 2022, he gave fans a peek via social media, showcasing clean lines, open living spaces, and the quiet luxury that mirrors his personal style. If the farm estate reflects where Rod Wave finds peace, his car collection shows where he finds power. Behind the soft-spoken storyteller is a country road king, with a garage full of machines built for comfort, speed, and pure adrenaline, a perfect complement to the calm elegance of his homes. Car collection. At the top of Rod Wave's garage sits the crown jewel, a custom Rolls-Royce Cullinan, a $450,000 rolling mansion that perfectly mirrors his quiet wealth and refined taste. With a sleek, understated exterior and a fully bespoke interior, the Cullinan isn't flashy. It's confident, smooth, and undeniably luxurious. Its V12 engine purrs rather than roars, a reflection of how Rod prefers his success. Powerful, effortless, and unmistakably premium. Not every car in his collection has had a perfect ride. His first Chevrolet Corvette C8 Stingray met a dramatic fate when he accidentally hit a lamppost, damaging the car and leaving him with minor injuries. For most, that might mark the end of a Corvette story, but not for Rod. Just a month later, he picked up another C8, this time in a bold, unapologetic orange, costing around $100,000, a statement that setbacks don't slow him down. Rod's garage balances muscle, speed, and practicality. Take the Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat, one of the most extreme SUVs ever built. Its supercharged 6.2-liter V8 produces 710 horsepower, delivering muscle car thrills inside a family-ready frame. For someone who moves between the quiet of his country estate and the intensity of a superstar lifestyle, it's the perfect mix. Raw power for the open road, room for the crew when life calls for it. Then there's the Infiniti Q60, one of the more understated rides in Rod's lineup. It doesn't carry a six-figure price tag, but its 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6, pushing 400 horsepower, proves he values performance no matter the badge. Starting around $50,000, the Q60 blends style, speed, and practicality, perfect for daily drives while keeping things low-key. Luxury is never far away, even in simplicity. Rod's garage also houses a BMW 7 Series, the German brand's flagship sedan. Starting at roughly $90,000, it offers limousine-level comfort, cutting-edge tech, and a whisper-quiet ride. Ideal for previewing unreleased tracks or zoning out while cruising through Florida streets. Rounding out the collection is the Mercedes-AMG GLE, another SUV that merges power and sophistication. With a starting price near $90,000, it delivers AMG-tuned performance and a refined cabin, giving Rod a premium option for daily life that's less imposing than the Cullinan, but still unmistakably luxurious. Every car in Rod Wave's garage tells its own story: resilience, success, practicality, flair. Together, they paint a portrait of a man who enjoys luxury without ever forgetting the roads he came from. And just like his cars, his income and empire tell a story of someone who turned heartbreak into a thriving business, building both wealth and freedom on his own terms, income and net worth. Today, Rod Wave's net worth is estimated at over $10 million, and it's a number built on authenticity, not gimmicks. He didn't rely on flashy endorsements or viral stunts. Instead, his emotional, heartfelt music became the engine driving billions of streams worldwide. Streaming is the backbone of his financial success. Albums like Ghetto Gospel, Pray for Love, Soulfly, Nostalgia, and Last Lap have all gone platinum or topped the charts, making Rod one of the most streamed artists of his generation. On Spotify alone, he regularly pulls in 15 to 20 million monthly listeners, and industry estimates suggest he's earned roughly $6 million from streaming royalties in recent years. YouTube adds another layer, generating 6 to 7-figure annual income thanks to his passionate global fan base. But the true powerhouse is touring. Rod's shows have grown from intimate venues to arena and stadium-sized productions. On major tours, like the Redemption Tour, sources close to his team report he can earn over $2 million per show. Merchandise, VIP packages, and sold-out dates across the country only amplify that revenue, making touring his single most lucrative income source. Yet behind every million earned, every chart-topping release, and every sold-out arena is Rod Wave himself. Quiet, private, and navigating fame on his own terms. His money, his homes, his cars, they're all markers of success. But they don't define the man. Now, let's step into Rod Wave's personal world and see the life behind the music. Personal life and legal issues. Despite years of speculation, especially after his 2022 song Married Next Year, Rod Wave was not married as of late 2025. Much of the confusion comes from his lyrics, which often blur the line between storytelling, aspiration, and autobiography. Rod's longest-known relationship was with Kelsey D. Coleman, the mother of his children. Their relationship was on and off for years, and while they are no longer together romantically, they continue to co-parent their twin daughters, Cash Green and Mocha Green, born in 2020. Fans are curious about his family life, but Rod keeps that world tightly sealed. He rarely posts about his daughters, avoids public appearances with partners, and makes it clear that his household remains off-limits from the spotlight. However, while Rod protects his personal life, the pressures of fame and business sometimes spill into public view. In 2025, he became embroiled in a high-profile legal battle over his Last Lap tour, sparking one of the most talked-about disputes in modern hip-hop. The conflict began as a scheduling disagreement with Grizzly Touring, the promotional company behind the 35 show, $40 million tour. Grizzly alleged that Rod performed only 26 of the scheduled shows, skipping the rest and breaching their contract. They claimed his actions caused enormous financial losses and accused him of violating exclusivity terms by launching a separate tour under his own company. Rod's team fought back with a counterclaim, offering a very different story. They argued that Grizzly's mismanagement, production failures, last-minute changes, and chaotic routing made completing the tour impossible. The countersuit also dropped a bombshell. It alleged that AG Entertainment, a Grizzly partner, paid $1.8 million in bribes to Rod's former agent to sneak an unauthorized exclusivity clause into the contract. Grizzly denied the accusations, calling Rod's countersuit an attempt to shift blame. The dispute remains one of the largest and most complex artist-promoter battles in recent hip-hop history, highlighting how fame, fortune, and business collide in ways fans rarely see behind the music. Just as his professional conflicts were heating up, Rod Wave faced real-world legal battles. In November 2025, just hours after celebrating his first Grammy nomination, he was arrested in Atlanta on suspicion of drug possession, weapon possession, and reckless driving. His real name, Rodarius Marcel Green, appeared on the Fulton County Sheriff's booking records. He was released the next day, and his legal team, Drew Findling, Marissa Goldberg, and Zach Findling, issued a strong statement condemning the arrest as unlawful and discriminatory. They accused a member of the Atlanta Police Department's Crime Suppression Unit of wrongfully targeting him under what they called a numbers-over-safety policing culture. This wasn't his first run-in with Georgia authorities in 2025. Earlier that year, he was held on property damage and weapons allegations, which his attorneys said were misguided, noting that Rod was actually the victim of a burglary, not the perpetrator. While his music often reveals emotional struggle, Rod's real-life challenges have been just as intense as the stories he shares in song. Thank you for joining us to explore the world of Rod Wave, the music, the mansion, the battles, and the soul behind it all. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good reality story. Drop a comment telling us who you want us to cover next, and we'll see you in the next video.